Hi, welcome to another creative exploration with me, Tammy Collins. Today we're going to do some more GelliPlate fun from start to finish. So today, this is a sneak peek at what we did. We've created about 14 pieces, so let's just jump right in. Okay, so these are the first colors that I grabbed, which is a primary red, a lake blue, and a Payne's gray. But I did also end up grabbing a rouge and a light magenta and a vermilion later on. So I'm just getting warmed up. I have no real intention today, but just to explore with these colors that I was inspired to pull. And right now I'm just sort of getting warmed up and rolling something out on the plate. I really don't know what I want to do. I just wanted to play around with these colors. I'm trying something different with my video recording and editing today, so I have the video actually on double speed, just to make it a little bit more interesting and to cut down on the overall time of the videos. Now, something interesting you'll notice here is that, first of all, I'm using deli paper, and that's a paper cardboard tube that I decided to add some circles to. But on the right, you can see that I have a piece of pattern. Every time I roll paint onto the GelliPlate, I want something to roll the excess off of the brayer. And I'm discovering that those pieces become quite interesting. And so I thought I would try it on this pattern piece. And it's like a leg pattern. It's really long. And so there's our first pull of the day. My goal with these is to just experiment and learn and see what happens. And every time I do this, I get anywhere from 3 to 5 pieces that I feel like I want to create something else with. And I do a lot of mark making, and I take those pieces and create something else out of them. And then the rest of the stuff I'm saving for collage making. So that's giant bubble wrap, and it leaves the most amazing little, they're not really little, they're about an inch around. But because they're bigger bubbles, they kind of wrinkle in the center, so it really makes a really neat imprint. And that's just a cardboard insert from some box thing that I had that I just thought would make interesting pattern. I'm actually new to the GelliPlate, something I've always wanted to do, and I'm really enjoying it. But you have to be open-minded, and you have to. It's the whole thing is just an experiment. You're just learning, how does the plate work? How does it react to different things? What kind of results can I get if I do this or that? And really, that's the whole point of creating, right? Is to just see what happens when you try things. So see how quickly I went off the initial 3 colors? I introduced the vermilion there, which wasn't part of the original 3. And I did use a couple different pieces of paper. So this is a deli paper, which I really love the results of the deli paper. It is slightly smaller than my board, so you can see I used the pattern piece to sort of take off some of the excess. But I love the deli paper. It seems to be very responsive. It seems to pull really well. I love the feel of it. I love the way the prints look on the deli paper afterwards. They dry really quickly. They're just a really interesting material to use. But I did also use wet strength tissue paper and rice paper today in this batch. I have a tendency to want to mix the colors on the plate and not do as many multiple pulls. I guess I just haven't experimented that far into it yet. This piece here actually comes out really good. So I'm using smaller bubbles, bubble wrap. back to the cardboard tube. That's sort of today's theme, was circles. It ended up being a little bit. But that's kind of the point, right? I don't know what this little thing is. I found it at an estate sale. It's a little plastic thing with some spikes on it. I have no idea what it is. So this is wet strength tissue paper, which I also really like. I notice it's a different type of pull, and you have to wait a little longer. I have a tendency to not want to wait for anything to dry. I want to roll the stuff on and pull it right off. And I have had great success with that so far. I don't know if I just have a tendency to put the perfect amount of paint, or I don't know what the case is. But, okay, so this is plastic wrap. It's like really heavy plastic wrap that was in some packaging. And I'm just trying to get sort of a crinkled effect. Now, if you notice here, I didn't really wait for that to dry at all. And I went right ahead and went ahead and put the other color on there. And I'm adding in some of that vermilion red. And this is the rouge, I think it's rouge. Same thing. I don't want to mix. I want it sort of randomly. I'm kind of skip rolling. And then I'm just kind of keep going different directions. And I think this is wet strength tissue paper as well. I was really surprised by this experimentation here, exploring these colors. I love this. Was my favorite piece. I love this sort of grungy combination background. That was really, really great. Now you can see there's a lot left on the plate here, which I like the way, I like once I get warmed up and I sort of have all these remnants on the plate. I think this is where the magic really starts to happen. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. All I know today is that I wanted to play around with the plate. My paint supplies are a little low. Some of the colors I really tend to use or I'm out of. So I grabbed these colors, which aren't something I would typically pull, which was another interesting thing. And I really didn't know what I wanted to do with them. And so I just said, well, I grabbed like 3 or 4 things that I had kind of laying around. Now, if you notice, I didn't really wait for any of these layers to dry. Now don't forget I have this on double speed, so it's going a little faster than real time. But this whole session, I try to keep these sessions under an hour. And that's kind of getting set up and printing and then kind of cleaning up, maybe an hour and a half total. I love this piece as well. I thought that came out so great. So now I'm getting excited. So now I think my goal here was to just I want to kind of pull all this off, and I'm using different colors now. I really love how that pattern print is going. I loved this technique as well. I don't know what that plastic is, but it's not saran wrap. It's much thicker. I don't know like what the thickness is or what it's used for. It just happened to be in a package. Now I believe that is that's wet strength tissue paper too. I have some rice paper too. I'm trying to figure out which one's which. You can tell because it's ripped. The wet strength tissue. Look how great that came out. The wet strength tissue paper's on a roll, so I have to rip off pieces. So there's usually a rough edge. This is a deli piece, so now I'm just trying to get the rest of that off of the plate. And watch how great this deli paper, it just pulls it right off. I really don't wait long. See how it just pulled it right off? And look, that actually made a great piece. So I'd love to know if you're watching. Thanks for watching and tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow. This channel isn't designed to be super professional or anything. It's really was for myself to document what I'm doing. It's kind of my own diary, if you will, a way for me to kind of remember how I did things and what I did and what I used. So I'm not perfect at filming. I'm not great at the editing, and I'm just trying to figure out, what interests you and what you like. So be sure to tell me what are you doing with your jelly prints? Are you doing jelly prints? Do you like it? Are you new to it? Have you been doing it a long time? Um, what was your favorite pull of this exploration that we did? There's that large bubble wrap again. Look at it. Those patterns are fantastic. So yeah, tell me what are you exploring right now in your creative process, or are you not, or are you preparing to do something? Now here, I put too much paint on. It's way too much paint. That color for some reason comes out really good. So you see, I'm like kind of rolling it off a few times. Now this one I did have to wait a bit longer. See how I tested it and it wasn't coming out. Um, I did have to wait a little bit for this one to dry. And that's okay. I kind of love how it did the random pull. That piece came out really great too. What kind of questions do you have around GelliPlate? Do you have any? Do you? So I'm taking that piece. I really love it, and I just wanted to ever so slightly try to see if I could make another little bit of a grunge layer on there. Didn't really work, but that's okay. I ended up really loving these pieces in the end. I think that's one of my favorite parts about the jelly plate. You see, in my journey, I spent way too much time wanting the perfect tools, the perfect materials, the perfect studio. I need to have the perfect project in mind, all these perfect things, and so I put off a lot of creating time that I should have been doing, and I think the jelly plate has really been that's a candy box, a chocolate candy box insert, that white sheet that I it has little circles on it. But anyway, I spent too much time not creating, and I think the jelly plate has really helped me let go of a lot of rules, because there really are no rules here. And so that's been really rewarding and really helping me in that process of figuring out, you know, how to be creative, how to explore my intuition, and really just let go and have fun and create. And that's really the whole thing that I want to get across to others. Is you just got to get in there and play with stuff. Everybody's creative. You just don't you just got to play around. So this is that deli paper, which I love. It's a little bit short, so see how I'm using the I don't want to get that all over everything. There we go. Now, did you notice how the deli paper didn't really pull all of the paint off? So I came back in here. This is actually a piece of rice paper behind it to pull the remaining part off. So I actually got two pulls off of that one application of paint. I'd also love to know, who are your favorite YouTube creators. I'm looking for some good creators to follow. Um, I need inspiration as well. There's something big fell in my plate there. You never know what's going to happen. This is also getting very messy. That plastic wrap was was really cool, but it's super messy. And I don't take the time to do all the things I'm supposed to do, if you notice. I love to just get going and keep going, and I tend to not wear gloves so paint gets all over my hands and all that good stuff. So that pattern piece was getting way too full of paint, was getting messy, so I moved it off to the side to dry. And then now I have a new piece over there on the side that I'm just randomly putting extras on. They make great scraps for collages, and some of the best surprises happen there. That one came out pretty good too. I'll show you these a little bit closer at the end. I know I'm rushing a little bit in here, and it seems even worse because I put the video on double speed. But at the end, I'll show you each individual page, so you'll get a better idea of what they looked like. Do you have something interesting that you do with all your, if you're making jelly prints, you're getting tons of, every session I get anywhere from a dozen to 20 sheets of goodness. And so what are you doing with them? Do you have anything interesting? I have some ideas around a challenge that I might do. Let me know if you're interested in that. Okay, so there's the scrap piece, and I just did some pool there. So that's just the roll-off piece. It came out actually kind of great. So I'd love to know, here where I'm going to go through each piece, but I'd love to know if you're interested in doing sort of like a mini collage challenge. Maybe we do something for like 30 days and we take, maybe under 30 minutes and 3 pieces, and we make mini collages. I don't know. Let me know what you think. But thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed following along in this little creative exploration of color with the GelliPlate. See you next time.